is Mike Grego, Superintendent of Schools in Pinellas County. The proud superintendent this morning of such a joyous occasion. It's amazing. Last week I was at Pinellas Park High School, of which I shook hands of 280 students who were graduating, who were doorway scholars, Take Stock in Children scholars, who 4 to 5 years prior to that were in the seats that you're in this evening or this morning. And now they're graduating. And so they were ecstatic. The parents were ecstatic as they walked off in a few weeks before graduation, and they have a bright future ahead of them. So it is very appropriate. I'm honored to be here this morning to go to the other side of this Take Stock in Children program, and that is the students who are entering the 6th grade, and I understand there's a variety of grades here. There are a couple of occasions in life that you can probably, as you grow older, you can turn back around and say, and point to them and say, that occasion, that effort, that occurrence changed my life. That occurrence made a huge difference in my life. And I would submit to the students who are sitting here that this is one of those occasions. For today, you'll be receiving an opportunity to obtain $16,000 valued scholarship. Now, for many of us who are of an older generation, $16,000 was more than we made in a complete year. At least myself, starting in the education business in the late 70s, my starting salary after that was just about just over $10,000 a year. So you're obtaining a value of $16,000 for your future education. And that to me is a change of life, or that to me is a special, special occasion. For the parents in the room, I know you're thrilled because that value added with all of this is about $1.2 million, and that's less money coming out of your wallet. And as a parent of 2 college students, I know how happy you are this morning also. So continue on in the raising and the difficult job of continue to nurturing your sons and daughters. To the Educational Foundation, I thank you, because this program, the program of the Take Stock in Children in Pinellas County, is the strongest, the largest, the best in the state of Florida. The County Commission has taken this on, and we're looking to, actually, the greatest form of flattery is duplication, and we're duplicating what the city of St. Petersburg has done, and that is taking a large, successful program like Take Stock in St. Pete, and we're growing it in other municipalities, other cities in Pinellas County. We're challenging other mayors. We're challenging other municipalities to do what St. Pete has done. So to Mayor Foster, thank you, Mayor, for your leadership. One thing we know, to the students and to the parents, we know that no matter what, in 5, 6, 7, 10 years, when you graduate from some level of post-secondary education, that the job market's going to be very, very competitive. It is today. It is today for our graduates. So my words of advice this morning to you is that as you prepare for your middle school and your high school careers, do it with in such a way that you're preparing for the most difficult classes that you could obtain, not the easiest. Let me say that again. I want you to seek after the most difficult classes that you can take, not the easiest. That is, challenge yourselves in the highest levels of mathematics and reading. Challenge yourselves in the highest levels of science. Challenge yourselves in college level as advanced placement or dual enrollment courses. Challenge yourself. Do not take the easiest path or the path of least resistance. There's too many students. There's too many young people in this community, in our culture that are choosing that path, and it is not a good path. You have the capability. You're sitting here this morning. We know that. You know that. And to parents, do not falter, do not weaken with that. I'm a parent also. I've been tried to be convinced that something easier is better than something more difficult. It is to the student's advantage to try and to work hard. Hard work never killed anybody, and hard work in school will make you a stronger student and will provide and open far more doors than if you did not take that path. So we know you're intelligent students. We know you have capabilities. So as you sign up for those classes, take the more difficult class. And then yet, let us together work with the parents and say, let's create those safety nets, those tutorings, those mentors that are so critical to this Doorways program. I would have to suggest that the most important part of this program that you'll hear today is the support part. It's not the money. The scholarships is very good. I mean, it's gracious. It's a wonderful gift. But it is the mentoring. It is the caring adult between the parent and the mentor that each step along the way, we're saying, how are you doing? How are you doing? What help can we have? So to the students here, look around you. You have sponsors, you have school leaders, you have principals here, I see. You'll have teachers, you'll have guidance counselors, you'll have a mentor. You have a lot of support. Take ownership of your own education. This is yours. You're starting to get to be that adolescent adult. Take ownership of your education. You will be required to have some level of post-secondary education. I can guarantee that. Seek after your passion. To the parents, continue to open the doors, and if students have interest in certain careers, whether they be a technical school, technical careers, two-year AS or AA degrees, or a 2+2 where they go to 2 years of our state college at St. Pete or others, and then to another 2-year university, or they go straight to a 4-year university. Either way, ensure that they're following their passion. And one of the greatest things we can do as mentors and as counselors and as parents is to continue to open the doors so that our students can continue to explore those career pathways. If they're interested in something, try to expose them to those interests. If they're interested in becoming a certain occupation, try to get them to job shadow. This community, especially in the city of St. Pete, is extremely open to understanding how to nurture and to grow the tremendous interests of students. So we all have our jobs to do. Students, you have, what I would suggest, this is on you. There's some stipulations you'll hear about. Let me make it simple. Your job is to perform as anyone else would expect, as your parents expect, is to create and establish and make them proud. That is, behave in school, behave at home, stay drug-free, stay crime-free, and get good grades. That's your job. That is your job. And if you think you're not getting paid for it, you are, each and every day. That is your future. You are building the foundation of your future, so treat your schooling as a job each and every day and excel at it. Excel. And work exceedingly hard at it. You should be exhausted when you leave school. We should be able to exhaust you, and we should be able to do that. Mentally, perhaps more than physically, but mentally, yes. What a good day at school. I am exhausted. Right, parents? So challenge yourselves, as I said. And I want to close by saying a warm, sincere congratulations. I will see you at the celebration a number of years. I know our paths will cross many times over the next number of years, but I will be exceedingly proud to be shaking your hands as seniors and handing out those scholarships and sending you off to your next stage of life, and ensuring and hoping that you come back to Pinellas County, you come back to the St. Petersburg area, and you take roots here, and you continue to grow this community. And to many of you, remember this, one of the greatest professions of all that you can consider is that of a profession of an educator. So as you work and think about your professions, as you grow, do not put on the back burner that of a teacher. Those teachers that impacted you, I have future teachers here in this Coliseum. You will be future teachers. Think about that as a profession. I always have to get that plug in, folks, is that teaching is one of the greatest, if not the greatest profession. And sometimes we don't sell our own professions. So let me close with that. Congratulations to the students, the parents, the educational foundations. Mayor Foster, thank you, and for your leadership, and let the program continue. Thank you very much.
Good morning, and a joyous one at that. I stand before you as a proud Gibbs High School alumni and a Florida State University sophomore, but more importantly, a fellow member of the Take Stock in Doorways Scholarship Program. I was sitting in your seats about 6 years ago as a 7th grader at Azalea Middle School. I remember the night I received my invitation like it was yesterday. I'd been at school all day and stayed about until 8 o'clock to volunteer at parent night. I walked into the house, and there stood my mother saying, "Here, you have mail." I took the letter and sat on the couch, and as I opened it and began to read it, my vision became impaired. Let me explain why. Throughout my early educational career, I knew that college was in my future. There was no other option for me. However, coming from a family where college was a road less taken, I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle. Both of my parents graduated high school but had to continue on into the work world. That being said, I took every bit of information my educators gave me. Early on in elementary school, I can remember my teachers lecturing about college, tips of getting in, and ways of obtaining scholarships. I knew when I left elementary school that the show was on. When I entered middle school, I pushed myself every day. Even though classmates took the easier road, I took all honors classes, ran for class office, and began to expand my horizons. I found that school spirit made the world of a difference, and it helped me stay positive. It also helped me set the example for my fellow classmates. By the end of my 3-year reign at Azalea, my principal at the time, Mrs. Anderson, and her staff were calling me Mr. Gibbs, or Mr. Azalea, I'm sorry. When I entered Gibbs in 2008, I had the hope of only one scholarship, and I knew that it was not going to be enough to pay for all of my college costs. It was my goal and mission to earn more. I ran with my best friend for class president and vice president. The competition was hard to beat. Both girls we ran against went to school with the majority of our freshman class, and we were simply outnumbered. However, we took that obstacle and put in the hard work and won. From that moment on, the possibilities were endless. I began to venture out into new organizations, and by senior year, I could say I just about did it all. Here are the titles and organizations that I served. I was senior class president, National Honor Society president, vice chair of the school's advisory committee, district and chapter reporter for Future Business Leaders of America, historian of the principal's multicultural advisory committee, editor of the Gibbs High School yearbook, member of the Parent-Teacher Student Association, the county's Students' Rights and Responsibilities, member of the marketing team for Gibbs and St. Petersburg College, student chair of Campus Crew, a member of a state-funded Professional Opportunities Program for students, District 4 Youth Volunteer of the Year. I won first place in job interview for Future Business Leaders of America, and I held a job from freshman year working 25 to 30 hours at Bubblegum Shrimp Company. Life with all of these leadership roles was not easy, to say the least. Getting used to them taught me that time management and how to multitask accurately. Through the support of the Take Stock in Doorways Scholarship Program and the mentor that was assigned to me, I was able to escape when times proved too challenging. My mentor, Mr. Jenkins, was always there to help me. Mr. Jenkins is a retired military personnel and high school teacher. He spends 4 days a week at Gibbs assisting students. He has a plethora of knowledge for the number of questions that I'm always asking. I can think back to every session starting the same way. Me walking in, late, out of breath, because I was caught in the office to do 20 more things. When I sat, the first words out of his mouth were some sort of mixture of, "Michael, you need to slow down, you can't do it all, you're just a teenager, enjoy what time you have left." Through our sessions, Mr. Jenkins pushed me, but at the same time, he has been one of the crutches that have supported me through every endeavor that I've taken on. Just a year ago, I stood on stage and turned my tassel from right to left, closing my chapter in Pinellas County Schools. I was told when I entered high school that is supposed to empower you, that you're supposed to discover some of who you are and what you want to do with your life. Because of Gibbs High School and Take Stock in Children, I can honestly say I found who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. Through the hundreds of hours of volunteering and endless effort towards better education, I discovered that education is my true passion in life. Those are just some of the reasons why my vision became impaired by the tears of joy that streamed down my face the night I sat on the couch. Not just because that I knew I was now that I could financially afford to go to college, but because when I received my acceptance into this program, it was the first time that I felt like I was good enough. The first time that I felt that I was validated. The first time that I could actually follow my dreams of attending a large university and be successful. This scholarship program has pushed me to become the person who I am today and not look back. Not only has this scholarship program offered me opportunities that would not have been otherwise, it has made one of my goals possible that I set at my very own signing ceremony. When I sat in your seats in this very building, I listened to the speakers at my signing ceremony. I leaned to my mom and said, "Mom, I want to be one of those speakers." Well, Mom, look at me now. Now, with all of the hard work, dedication, and perseverance, I was granted acceptance to the Florida State University, my dream school. I'm currently majoring in social science education. With my passion for education, I will continue on from a bachelor's degree to pursue a master's in educational leadership and a doctorate in one of the many educational fields. Thank you. Now that my freshman year of college is over, I can truly say that I did not expect my Florida Prepaid Scholarship to help in the capacity that it did. We all know that college is expensive and one of the most expensive investments we will make in our lifetimes. However, it really does not hit you how expensive it is until you sit down on your student account and see the numbers that you owe in the 5 digits, and then to check your bank account and to see that you don't even have a quarter of that. Tuition will always be the most expensive aspect of college, and with your Florida Prepaid Scholarship helping, it was a huge blessing when you factor in other costs. Living, food, lab fees, technology fees, and you can't forget those late night runs to Starbucks or McDonald's to either get you through the night or keep you from breaking down. I want to congratulate each and every one of you on your accomplishments this far. With your acceptance into this Take Stock in Children Doorway Scholarship, I know that each of you hold the characteristics and traits to be successful and gain admission to any university. I leave you with 2 quotes that have strongly impacted my life and that have guided me through each day. The first being, "Follow what you are genuinely passionate about and let that guide you to your destination," Diane Sawyer. And the second from Gandhi, who says, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Take these quotes and write your own story and do things that were once unthinkable. Congratulations and best of luck on all your future endeavors.
Again, my name is Eric Zimmer, and what I'd like to do with you this morning, and first of all, congratulations to all the kids out there that are receiving a scholarship this morning. But as you may imagine, this scholarship is very treasured and very valuable, and with it comes a lot of responsibilities, okay? You need to take these very seriously, and so I'm going to go through some of those responsibilities with you this morning. In your packet, you should all have packets that have been given to each of you. You should have in there 3 copies of an agreement, and this agreement is between the student who is receiving the scholarship, the parents of the students, the Education Foundation, and Pinellas County Schools. For the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to review the commitments and the content of these agreements. And then we're going to have each of the students and their parents sign each of the copies of this agreement. You're going to keep the pink copy of the agreement in your packet for your records. You will hand in the yellow and white copies. The yellow copy will go to the school, and the white copy will go to the Pinellas Education Foundation. After we've reviewed these agreements with you, which we'll do right now, you can ask any questions and we can answer those questions. So you'll have time for that. Okay, so let's get started. First question is, these scholarships are not free. They cost money, so where does the money come from? Well, the money comes from a long list of very generous people, including the city of St. Petersburg, who asks individuals, community organizations, and corporations to donate this money for the student scholarship. So you have individuals, civic organizations, and corporations that come up with this money. Since the program began about 20 years ago, the Pinellas Education Foundation has purchased well over $30 million worth of scholarships. That's a lot of money. What does the scholarship provide? And keeping in mind what it doesn't provide. The scholarship provides your tuition only for your school. So prior to enrolling the student in the Take Stock in Children program, the Pinellas Education Foundation buys the Florida prepaid account for each student that's in this room here today. The contract you are signing offers today, that's being offered today, gives you 60 tuition hours at a Florida public college level, and then you can apply for the additional 60 hours. So what does the 60 hours mean? When you go to a community college or a university, a state university, the 60 hours really is in essence the first 2 years, okay? So you're being given the first 2 years of your college tuition hours. To be eligible to receive the second 2 years or the second 60 hours, you must have obtained an associate's degree, or you must have been accepted into a bachelor's degree program at a college or university. For example, if you go to St. Pete College for 2 years and get your associate's degree, you will then contact the Pinellas Education Foundation and request the additional 60 hours. Or you can go directly to the University of South Florida, for example, and use the first 60 hours at USF, and then you have to be accepted into the bachelor's degree program in the example of USF to then get the second 60 hours. Pete, please feel free, once you are finished, to ask any questions that you might have. It's a little bit confusing, but again, you get the first 2 years, you get an associate's degree, you can stop there. If you want to continue on, you can come back into the foundation and reapply for the second 60 hours, the second 2 years, and then you can go on to get your bachelor's degree at that point. But again, we can answer any questions that you might have. A few things for you to consider. The funds for your tuition are paid directly to the college from Florida prepaid. You won't get the money and have to pay it. It goes direct. The students must start college also within 18 months of their high school graduation. Okay, so you can't wait forever. You have to start college within 18 months of your high school graduation. Students must use the first 60 hours tuition within 4 years of their high school graduation. Okay, so you got to do your first 2 years of college within 4 years of this month. And all the hours must be fully used within 6 years of your high school graduation. So if you go on for your second 2 years in college to get your bachelor's degree, you must complete that within 6 years of your high school graduation. Okay, so this isn't an unlimited program from a time standpoint. Students may use one Florida prepaid plan at a time only. And the Florida prepaid plan you receive covers your tuition only. Okay, your room and your board and your books is not covered. You'll have to obtain additional scholarships for your room and board or your books or other expenses. Students may attend a Florida public university for all 4 years, a private college, or an out-of-state college. However, keep in mind that the tuition amount for those non-state schools, the private schools or the out-of-state schools, will be prorated, meaning the value of the tuition to a Florida state school will be applied to the private university, and you or your family will have to pay for the difference. You'll have to get additional scholarships, or you will have to come up with the money. So just keep that in mind. And that oftentimes is a substantial amount of money. So if somebody gets accepted into Harvard University, The Florida prepaid will not cover that tuition at Harvard. It will apply towards it, but you will have to pay for the remainder with a scholarship or with your own money. Parents or guardians, could I ask the parents and guardians or guardians of the students to stand up, because you have some responsibilities. And congratulations to you and your efforts to get your child this scholarship. Congratulations. Okay, you can have a seat now. I just wanted to make sure that you were able to stretch your legs, and also that we knew that you were listening to me. That's good. Okay, so the parents or the guardians, you have responsibilities. It's your responsibility as a parent to support and encourage your student to develop a positive relationship with the teacher and the volunteers that are involved in this process, okay? You need to attend program-sponsored meetings to discuss the student's educational needs. So you need to be involved as parents. It's your duty and your obligation as parents to do that. You need to communicate with the Take Stock in Children program on the following matters. If there's any scholastic achievement or problem, if there's any challenge scholastically that your child is having, you need to be communicating with the school about that. If there's a behavioral problem, you need to be involved and get early intervention to address that with your child and work with the school to take care of that before it becomes a bigger problem, okay? So any behavioral issues, anything that you notice, positive or negative, that's affecting the student in his or her home life that needs to be communicated with the school and with the foundation as needed. And also, very importantly, if anything changes, such as address, phone number, or email, any contact information changes, you need to make sure the school and the Pinellas Education Foundation is kept informed of that. And also, we ask you to sign up for the parent portal at the school that your child is attending, and stay in tune with what is going on there with your child. Okay? So really, the theme of this is to be involved, to stay involved, and work with your child and work with the school to make sure that your kid stays on track. Student responsibilities. Okay, time for the students to stand up. Stretch your legs a little bit. I want to see who you are. All right, congratulations. Okay. Now, congratulations. Keep in mind, this program has served over 2,600 children in the county, okay? So you're a very lucky, there's about 105 or so thousand kids in the school system, okay? Now, 40,000 of them are potentially eligible for this scholarship. So there's a lot of other kids out there that are eligible for this that maybe aren't getting the scholarship. We're trying to get scholarships for as many as we can, but you have a very rare and coveted gift in this scholarship, but it's one that you have to take very seriously. So you students have responsibilities, okay? So listen up, this is serious business, and you could lose your scholarship if you don't adhere to all the requirements, okay? You need to stay drug and crime free, okay? You need to be a role model for your peers and remain a student in good standing according to the Pinellas County Schools Code of Conduct for Good Behavior. So you students need to read that Code of Conduct for Good Behavior, and your parents do as well, and you need to adhere to that. It's your responsibility as scholarship recipients to do that. So take this seriously. You need to attend classes regularly. You can't be skipping class. It's a big no-no. So you have to have good attendance. You need to earn grades of C or better in each class, so you have to keep your grades up. Hopefully you're going to be getting A's. Okay, I'm sure many of you or most of you will get A's and B's, but you need to have at least a C in every class that you're taking. Okay, that's serious stuff. You need to write an annual thank you letter to your sponsor. Who is your sponsor? What's a sponsor? The sponsor is the person that gave their money to this Take Stock in Children's Scholarship Program to pay for your scholarship. These are the people that gave you the money for your scholarship. You need to write them a letter, a thank you letter, to tell them who you are, what your interests are, and what your goals in life are, to thank them for giving you the money for your scholarship, okay? One of the requirements of the scholarship is to have a mentor. You need to meet that mentor regularly. The mentors take their time off of their work schedule and out of their life to drive to the school, spend time with you, and then drive back to work whenever they meet you. They're doing that because they care. They care about your future. They want to help you. So you have to meet with your mentor, treat them with respect, and enjoy the relationship that you have with your mentor that's going to help you. And you have to attend all Take Stock in Children events as well. You need to also remain in Pinellas County schools to maintain your scholarship, okay? Now, there are additional details in the agreement regarding students who happen to move with their family, move to another county in the state of Florida. This program is statewide, okay? So if your family needs to relocate to another county in the state, you can probably still keep your scholarship, but you need to take action if that occurs, okay? You have to inform the Pinellas Education Foundation that you are moving and that you've got your new address and what that address and phone number is and so forth. And then we can address the transfer of that to the other county in the state of Florida. Okay? You also must be in good standing, a student in good standing, in order to keep your scholarship if you move somewhere else in Florida. Failure to comply with the program standards may result in withdrawal from the program. Okay? It's sometimes a sad day when we have to review kids that are getting into trouble, they're not keeping their grades up, they're not attending class or whatever the case may be, and we've had to take them out of the program. It's not something anybody wants to do, but we need to make sure that the kids honor this privilege of this scholarship. Okay, so you're going to be held accountable, just like you're going to be held accountable when you get a job. Okay? The volunteer role. So the mentors, you know, again, they give their time to support you. They meet you only on school grounds during school hours. And they also can possibly volunteer to take field trips with you. That's on a case-by-case basis, though. And then the mentors comply with the school volunteer program, which is School Board Policy 6.14. So there's background checks, and there's certain requirements and codes and standards of behavior and so forth that the volunteer mentors must adhere to as well. So you can read more about that if you want to go online and look up that policy. And in your packet, there's also a program contact sheet. There are other people out there that are going to help you stay on track in this program. So please take out the blue document in your folder. The sheet lists the people that can help you if you have questions, concerns, anything about the scholarship. You have people listed that are at your school and at the foundation and your student advocate that are there that you can call with questions or if you need help for any reason. Don't let a small problem become a big problem, okay? Address things as soon as you can if there's a question or concern or a problem. And again, your student advocate is there to help you, okay? If there's a problem or a challenge or you're facing a difficulty, they can help you solve that. If you receive a low grade in a class or have a discipline or attendance issue, the student advocate can come to your school and meet with you to develop a plan of action to get back on track. It's better to address this early and effectively than to let it become a bigger problem and risk losing your scholarship, okay? The Pinellas County Schools' responsibility. The Pinellas County School contacts for this program are required to assign a volunteer mentor. Okay, and I believe that everybody in this room has a mentor assigned to them that will start meeting with them this fall. They'll start in October. Encourage the other thing that the schools do is they encourage the student and the family participation in this program, okay? Both while you're in the program as well as later on, like Michael has done for us this morning. And the school also is required to assign a school-based program ambassador to facilitate mentor meetings and monitor the students' grades, attendance, and behavior. So all these advocates are already out there in the schools that each week they coordinate the schedules of the mentors and the students to make sure that the mentor doesn't show up and the student's gone on a field trip or what have you. The program is in place to manage that today, okay? And then the parents' guardian approval release waiver. There should be something in your folder regarding that. This is a release. This releases the Pinellas Education Foundation, the Take Stock in Children program, and the school board of the Pinellas County from liabilities, claims, or expenses arising from injury or loss while participating in program activities. The Take Stock in Children is a separate entity, and it's apart from the free and appropriate public education being provided to the child. So this is not something that's part of the school district, okay? This is a scholarship program that's separate from that. We want you to understand that should a child be terminated from Take Stock in Children, no due process will occur. In other words, it can be the decision of a committee that reviews problem situations, and they make a decision. There's no, you're not going to go to court or anything like that. You agree to also authorize Take Stock in Children. These are the parents now. The parents agree to authorize a Take Stock in Children to contact third parties for information related to your student and agree to release of the information by such third parties to the Take Stock in Children program. You understand that Take Stock in Children may terminate your student's participation or your child's participation in the program if, in the sole judgment of Take Stock in Children, the parent, guardian, or the student has breached the agreement, or the student's continued participation in the program may pose a threat to other participants. The last item in the agreement is the media release. This allows the Pinellas Education Foundation to use pictures and videos taken at program events on their website and in publications. Okay, so I think now we are going to sign the contracts. Okay, so you need to take the white copy of the agreement and the lists of risk factors. This list is required by the state of Florida. Please make sure the parent or guardian circles any risk factors that are applicable on this list before turning in the agreement. So there are risk factors that may apply or may not apply to your student. Please read those and circle the ones that do apply to your child. And then you need to, this is the most important part, and this is where you're signing your life away. Just kidding, you're not really signing your life away. You're signing the scholarship agreement. You need to sign each of these agreements, each copy. And it's important that both the parent and the student sign all copies of this agreement. There are 3 copies. You need to sign each one of them, both the parent and the student. Within 2 weeks, okay, within 2 weeks of today, you need to follow the instructions on the red sheet to complete your online thank you letter to your sponsor. So within 2 weeks, and the parents, we need the parents to make sure this happens, okay, that your child completes the online thank you letter to the sponsor. This is thanking the person who is paying for the scholarship, okay? These scholarships have a value of around $16,000. So it's important that your student thank the sponsor. Okay, and students and parents, next time you are on Facebook, which will be probably about 5 minutes after you walk out of the building, do a search for Take Stock in Children Doorways. Go onto that page and click like. Anyway, that's it. The boring part of this is done. I am finished. But I would like to congratulate all of the students and the parents for having this scholarship and getting this great opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity. Value it, covet it, and take the responsibility to make sure that you do well, okay? Great, thank you.
I like to stay down here. I went to Oprah's School of Public Speaking, and I can't be on a stage. I've got to be down here. I get animated, I get excited, and I'm more. there are my two favorite holidays, and this is a holiday. My two favorite holidays of the year occur in May. The first one is what? Mother's Day. Come on. Come on. If you're a child, I'm giving you a little heads up. Mother's Day is coming up. Where would we be without our mothers? So that really is one of my favorite days of the year, because it was the mother of my children who gave me the greatest gift I've ever had. Two kids. One last week, last Friday, graduated from the University of Florida. And my son, who's in high school, is graduating, and he's going off to the University of Florida. So it's their mother. I guarantee it's the influence of their mother. So Mother's Day, number one. Number two is this celebration. I talk about doorway signings all year long. And it always kind of cracks me up at the end of football season. You see all of these high school kids, and they're signing. They have signing day, and they put on the hat of whatever college they're going to play football for, and they make a big production out of it. And rightfully so, they've really earned a great achievement. But this is better than the December signing day for athletics. This is your signing day, to where the students are committing to good choices. And that is key. The students are committing to making good choices. And the parents are committing to assisting these young people in the role of a parent, in making sure that they stay in their kids' faces at all times, and helping guide and mold these beautiful young people so they make these choices. And young people, the choices that you're going to face, go ahead and decide today. Decide right now what you're going to say when you're in a group and they say, hey, I want you to take this, and I found this in my parents' medicine cabinet. Or I got this bottle from somewhere, and we're going to go off and drink out of it. You're going to encounter situations, and you need to decide right now what you're going to say, how you're going to respond. I guarantee you, you will encounter a situation where you got to say, no way. Because A, my body is too important, and B, I'm a doorway scholar. And my community has taken stock in me. And I'm not going to give that up, because life's too short, and I've got all of this opportunity, and I'm not going to waste it on being stupid. So decide right now what you're going to say, because you'll be in an awkward situation, and you need to have that answer ready to go. You know what? This is stupid. I'm out of here. I'm too valuable. Now think about taking stock. Your community is taking stock. What is a stock? People buy stocks. It's an investment. It's an investment that appreciates in value, and that's what your community is doing. Destiny Rich, we are going to invest in destiny. And she's going to grow up, and she's going to appreciate in value. And depending upon what Destiny wants to do, she may be on Broadway, she may cure cancer, she may be an airline pilot, she may be a contractor, she may be an electrical she may do anything that she wants to do. But the investment is real. And education in a community is everything. Education is public safety. Education is job creation, economic development. Destiny's going to grow up and get a job and make a living wage, and she's going to buy a house. Most of all, she's going to be a taxpayer. Actually, best of all, she's going to pay into Social Security so old people like us can have a little retirement. So we are investing in destiny. We're investing in all of you. But it is about making good choices. And so far, you've made good choices. I'm not going to ask your parents about some of the crazy stuff you do at home. But you're going to have to make these choices. Do I hang out at the mall with my friends, or do I finish that book report? Now, it's okay to, Friday night lights, when you're in high school, go to the football game. Join Civitan, Rojans, the Spanish club, the math club, the Latin club. Join all of these things. These extracurricular activities are huge on your college application. But don't do these crazy video games. Go do, unless it's Wii and you can exercise or something. But read, finish your work. It's too important. Your community has taken stock in you. So what is the community? Well, the Kiwanis Club of St. Petersburg has made a huge investment. They have a banner up there that talks about some of the scholarships that they provided. And up to this date, they provided 197 scholarships. And they're sitting right now. Gentlemen, Kathy, Bob, Kevin, Dave, Al, they are passionate. They have taken stock, and they've taken this seriously. Parents, thank you for this opportunity. Your job is far from over. You've gotten them to this point, and there's a long way to go. Because these kids are full of energy, and they're rambunctious, and they're ready to go. And I know that the more I talk, they're not getting in school, and I got to shut up because they're anxious to get back in school. Parents, keep up the good work. Thank you. There's a lot riding. Thank you. The superintendent of schools, school board members, administration, teachers. If you are a teacher, if you are an educator, you are truly, truly the heroes. Because when I talk about the value of education to a community, you guys are in the classrooms. You guys are working overtime. You guys are making sure you'll go in on Saturdays if kids need help. And I know you do. I know the passionate teachers. So if you're a teacher in this room, wave your hand. If you're in the education system, wave it right there. They're doing it. And then finally to the young people, thank you. Thank you for honoring us and giving us this opportunity to invest in you. It is so important. I'm truly honored to be the mayor of what I think is the greatest city in the entire country. And when you go off to Florida, Florida State, Florida A&M, University of South Florida, St. Pete, or if you go off to Harvard and Yale or Vanderbilt or whatever choices that you have, you got to come back to St. Pete. We've invested in you. We need you. We need you here. And I will do everything I can with this incredible team that we have to make sure that you get a job, that jobs are available, and that the parks are great so there's things that you want to do, and that the quality of life is here, and that you can find us a house in a safe neighborhood. That's our job. But come back, and we'll do everything we can to support you. To the mentors, I'm going to give a shout out to a young man who's graduating from Gibbs High School. He was here years ago. His name is Patrick Mills, and he's a young man that I've mentored for 4 years. He was accepted to Florida A&M University, and I couldn't be any more proud. So this works. God bless you all. Thank you.
college, and I get to get more education, more information. I like to know more about the future, technology, and all that.
For me, it means a lot. Now it takes me a step in the right direction. It gives me a step in the right direction, and letting me know I'm gonna go to college and have a great life.
Because not everybody get to get these, only a certain people for what they do and accomplish.